Good morning, students. Today I will teach you the second chapter of your English reader book, and the chapter's name is The Sound of Music. Students, this chapter has two parts, and today we will read the first part. The first part is Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Students, Evelyn Glennie was a deaf girl. She was unable to hear, but she had a firm determination to learn music. When she was 8 years old, somebody called her to play the piano. At that time, she did not move. Then her parents came to know that she was unable to listen. Students, her headmistress advised her parents to take her to a specialist. Once she saw that somebody was playing, a girl was playing a xylophone. She also decided to play that xylophone. Her teacher mocked her, but the percussionist, he recognized her capacity, her ability, and he encouraged her. So through this chapter, she has given us the message that if we are handicapped, if we are impaired, if we have physical disability, but we are having the strong determination, willpower, then we can overcome over any hurdle, any difficulty of our life. So open your book at page number 17. I am going to teach you, and listen to me very carefully. God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. It is the statement of somebody. It has been written that God may have taken her hearing power, but He has given her back something extraordinary, something unique. What we hear, she feels. Whatever we hear, she feels that things, because she cannot hear for more deeply than any of us, and that is why she expresses the music so beautifully. Now see the first paragraph of this chapter. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. The platform was overcrowded, and people were trying to make their position. How to push one another roughly. The underground train platform was overcrowded, and people were trying to make their position to pushing one another roughly. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. There was a very small and thin girl who was looking younger than her 17 years. There was a small and thin girl who was looking younger than her age, and she was nervous also. And she was nervous, yet she was excited because she felt the vibration of approaching the train. She could not hear the sound of the train, but she could feel the vibration of the approaching train. Because of the crowd, she was nervous, but when she felt the vibration of the approaching train, at that time she became excited. Okay, it was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and it was frightening, it was fearful, it was frightening enough for any fresher, for any teenager who was fresher and who was from Scotland. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. But this girl who wanted to be a musician, but this little girl who wanted to become a musician, she faced a bigger challenge than anyone. She faced the bigger challenge than most of the children of her age because she was completely deaf. Okay, students, now see the second stanza. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing, her deafness had been continuous, steady. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. Her mother remembers she noticed that something was wrong when her 8-year-old daughter Evelyn was waiting to play piano. They called her name and she did not move. Her name was called, but she was unable to listen, that's why she did not move. I suddenly realized she had not heard, says Isabel Glennie. The name of her mother was Isabel Glennie, and she said that when she did not move, when her name was called and she did not move, at that time she suddenly realized that her daughter was not hearing. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. For some time, Evelyn Glennie, she managed to hide her growing deafness from her friends as well as teachers also. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress asked her parents to take her to a specialist. But when she became 11 years old, at that time her marks, it had decreased. Her marks of deafness, it had decreased, it had gone down, and at that time her headmistress, she told her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage, and at that time when she was taken to the specialist, then it was discovered, it was being found that her hearing capacity was strongly impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Her parents were advised that Evelyn should be fitted with the hearing aids and she should be sent to a school for the deaf children. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. When Evelyn came to know, then at that time she says that everything suddenly looked black to her. Okay? Now see the third paragraph. But Evelyn was not going to give up. When she came to know that she was unable to listen, her specialist advised her to sent her to a school for the deaf children. At that time, she did not become nervous. She was not going to give up. She did not leave her dream. She did not leave her goal to become a musician. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. She was determined. She had the strong willpower that she would lead a normal life, but she would pursue her goal and she would pursue her interest in music. She would pursue her goal towards music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. One day, Evelyn Glennie saw that a girl was playing a xylophone, and at that time, she also decided that she would play the xylophone. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. Percussionist means a person who plays drum, tabla, piano, etc. Okay? When she said that she would also play the xylophone, at that time most of her teachers discouraged her. They laughed at her, but the percussionist, Mr. Ron Forbes, he recognized her quality, her ability. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes, and after that he started playing two large drums to the different notes. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way. Ron Forbes, he advised her not to listen the music through ears, not to listen the sound through ears, but she should try to sense it in some other way. Says Evelyn, suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the west up and lower one from the west down. And Evelyn says that suddenly when her teacher advised her that she should sense the sound in some other way, at that time suddenly she realized that she was feeling the sound of higher drum from the upper part of the west, and she was feeling the sound of the lower drum from the lower part of her west. When her music teacher started playing the two drums, at that time she suddenly felt that she was feeling the higher drum. She was feeling the sound of the higher drum from the upper part of her west, and she was feeling the sound of the lower drum from the lower part of her west. Okay? Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. Ron Forbes, he repeated the exercise, and immediately Evelyn discovered that she was able to sense, she was able to feel some certain notes in different parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. She said that she had learned to open her mind and body towards sounds and vibrations. She had learned to open her mind and her body towards sounds and vibrations, and the rest was the entire determination and her hard work. Okay? So students, that's all for today. The remaining part we will study next. Okay? So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.